So how is it going in China? This is day 8. Staying in the old town called LiJiang. There are 3 old towns in LiJiang. And right now all of them are chilling. So I'm gonna walk around the old town. We will try to stay warm, stay happy, and we're gonna try to stay well fed. I don't think any of these are a problem, but yeah, just want to share how it's going. So how are you doing? How have things been going? I haven't been able to keep in touch on a live stream for a few weeks. I can check the video comments, but also internet here is not so easy to use. We can talk about that also while I walk. Oh yeah, LiJiang is high elevation, so if I start to get out of breath, you'll know why. The altitude here in town is 2450 meters. Okay, let me start to walk. Yeah, it's a 4-kilometer walk each way, so the total distance today will be 5 miles walking. So the sun is out, and the sky is blue. Check that out. So this is an area built for tourists, but the town itself is very old. They're preserving the culture, just like so many places that I love in Chiang Mai, and it's awesome to walk around here. Like, no matter the fact if it was built 100 years ago and not 1,000 years ago, it is still exactly replicating traditional stuff. And you have amazing doorways and arches. They're actually just shops inside these amazing buildings. You might think they are museums, right? And they have these canal systems also all over the town. Conveniently, there is a huge map, pretty detailed here. Interesting though, walking, this is a huge scale. So I'm here and I'm walking to about here, and that's 4 kilometers. So the entire thing might be 20 kilometers, so you would take weeks to explore all this, I don't know, months. LiJiang is a town about the same size as Chiang Mai in terms of population. So it's a pretty big town. It has an airport and an awesome train station, bus station. And this is the old town that I'm staying in. There's another old town up here, and I think another old town in this area. Anyways, I love LiJiang. Okay, and I'm going to show you more why as we keep walking. Okay, first question. How good is my Chinese? Well, I cannot completely take care of myself. I can order food. I can try to take... She's trying to sell blueberries. I can try to take care of myself. I can try to get on a bus, but if there's anything unexpected, no, I can't really get myself out of a tricky situation. So the internet, the phone, thankfully my Thai SIM card has a partnership. You can pay about $15 a month, and it can, I think it's 8 GB of data. So I can call Li in an emergency on a few specific apps. Not all the apps work. Okay, if you want to get a Chinese SIM card though, that could help you out, but it's very hard as far as the documentation needed to get the SIM card. So you might have to have a local friend purchase you that, but if you do, then you're good. The internet speed here is incredible, but it's just how to access it. Okay, and then if I do not speak Chinese very well, how do I find food? Well, looking around, a big problem is the Chinese characters, even though they're so beautiful and the depth of culture is insane. When you're in a bus or on a bicycle driving by, definitely it's not easy to take a photo of something and translate it. Definitely not in real time anyways. So there are a lot of noodles, there's a lot of cooked meat dishes with rice that all look amazing. But when I want to try and find something that's totally unique, it's very hard. So I have to go by recommendations, which is what I'm doing right now. You know what? It is a long walk. 5 miles. That's about 2 hours. So you know what? I'm turning around. This cafe has a gigantic selection. I almost can't believe it. Let's check it out. I know what this says. Cafe. Oh, I know Nan. This is great, and the prices aren't even expensive. Dude, this is so cool. So I picked 4 of these small, I call them like camping coffee packets. They are great for when I'm on a bike trip, not a bike ride, but a bike trip, and I don't want to carry the pour over stuff. So I'm going to buy some of these just to taste. They are really cheap. It's only 10 grams, so only a half size serving, but This is really cool. It's only 5 renminbi to taste, so I bet it's going to be a small cup, but I really want to taste. So let's try Yunnan local beans at a local coffee shop here. Man, he has such a great selection. Look at all these. Okay, let's try the coffee. OK， 够了，够了，
够了吗？
谢谢。你不用，
不要吗？
谢谢。
啊，好的。
我坐这里喝。谢谢。Remember 2 really interesting things about making coffee or hot beverages at this altitude. At over 2,400 meters, water will boil at about 90 or 91 centigrade. So that's, you actually need an espresso machine to even really make a proper light roast coffee. You need the water temperature very hot, closer to 100 degrees. But for dark roast, I think 85 is like the bottom, maybe 88. So that's one thing. And then the second is when it is so cold, it even cools hot beverages down faster. So even one more reason why you want to eat like raging hot soup like Chinese people love to do. Okay, so let's go find some of that right now. Of the 3, I think now 3 foreigners in 8 days, one of the other ones was in the shop at the same time with me. So also something super cool. I appreciate this anyways. I don't know about you. In China, it lets me realize how many foreigners there are in Thailand, even when I think of Thailand still kind of as a wild place. So maybe there are 2 types of travelers in general. Those who want to go to a new place but have things the way they expect, maybe nicely laid out. And that's for sure the reason that some people might pay money to travel. They want predictable travel experience and natural beauty in the way that they expect. But then there's another type of travel where you want the unknown and you don't want danger, but you want to put yourself in a situation that is not your comfort zone. So maybe there are more than 2 types of travelers, but I would say China is off the charts amazing for the second type. You are going to find yourself sometimes... Hi. You're going to find yourself sometimes the only foreigner out of 1 million people. I took a trip to Kunming 5 years ago. I didn't even see another foreigner. The whole trip, Kunming is like 6 million people. So I love that about China. And it just rewards those who don't mind unknown or unpredictable situations or don't mind being the only foreigner. Or if that's a draw for you, if you want to visit something like a big city, you're not going off in the forest, you're in the middle of a downtown area and you're the only foreigner, it's pretty cool. Okay, this is the outer gate. You can see the beautiful apple blossom right here and the main road. We're en route again. So that is the corner right there. So I've walked 2.5 kilometers to reach the edge, which means I have 1.5 to go. This is a long stoplight right here. So I guess I can answer another question. How much did it cost me to get here? So my room in the old town, which is a tourist area, so it's cool that I found such a low price with Lee's help, yes. The room was 70 renminbi, so $10 for each night, and I'm there 11 nights. So $110 for 11 nights is pretty good, but that's double what I paid last time in LiJiang. So I stayed outside the old town. The room was basic, for sure, but it was $5 a night. So this time, $10 a night, I feel very privileged. The flight to get here from Chiang Mai, $300 round trip. So that's actually not that cheap, but it's not high season, but it's higher time, I guess, for that. Because last year, I think it was $200. Anyways, so $410, and then if you imagine, I spend the same each day that I spend for the hotel, because that's also how I do it in Thailand. The hotel price, you double that, and you use that for your board. So room and board usually. So 220, so that's $520 for 11 days. Yeah, and then I do a lot of cycling when I'm here, but some days like this, I get to walk around and find some new foods. Okay, we're going. Yeah, the streets are very wide. Oh, yeah. I'm still walking like Thai style. Just walking on the road. In all the places I've been in China, usually there's a pedestrian walking area separate from all the other, yeah, look at this. And this really is the experience that I've had walking in all the Chinese cities I've visited, which is more than 10 cities now. Whenever you're walking, it's almost like a park. China, I've only visited 3 provinces out of 36, but yeah, more than 10 cities in those 3 provinces. So I will say China does an exceptional job in laying out the cities in a pedestrian-friendly way, but also a visually friendly way. You see how the trees are all arranged, how the intersections are constructed. I mean, that's a great picture right there. Look at that. Car lane, 2 lanes, motorbike lane or other 2-wheeled vehicles, parking and then walking. This setup you see right here, you have to be careful because cars then exit any of the turn-ins. So there it's happening right now. You can't really go so fast, but it is convenient and safe. And also pedestrians do get the right of way here most of the time. Man, it's such a nice day today. Even though the air is chilly and the wind is decently strong, it's awesome. It's like 14, 15 centigrade right now. So for Thailand, that's like middle of winter. So here's another beautiful intersection. And something I always appreciate, can you hear how quiet it is? Because most of the vehicles are electric. You know what? Let's do everyone a favor. I'm gonna go pick that thing up. He's going to grab it. Nice one. Okay. Hopefully people are nice to him. So let me share a story. So you see behind me, I've walked for a few minutes. I've walked slowly, obviously, just appreciating the situation. Lee shared a story with me that I always appreciate. From her childhood, she said that she would walk home after school by herself for years. After school, in China, if you're familiar with the Chinese curriculum, that means she was walking home in the dark. A 3rd grade, 4th grade girl, alone, walking home in the dark from school. She said she did that every day for multiple years of school. At first, I said, that's obviously not true. Then she said, yes, it's true. Okay, and after a while I believed her. And then after visiting China for myself, I see a situation like this. And I always thought Thailand was the safest place that I'd ever been. But I think China, aside from danger on the road, as far as like large vehicles, that situation is not safe. People don't wait around as far as when it's time to work. So if I'm a bike rider in the way of a truck, that's a different situation. But in the countryside, in terms of safety, it is incredibly safe. Let that story and this example show you from my wife talking about 10 years ago, and even now, right there. Okay, I love it. Guess what? Good news, we're at the restaurant. This is something that I do know the name of. La Pai Gu, the ribs. The cured pork ribs are famous from LiJiang, and this is what we're having for lunch. You can see the hanging pork legs all over. So these Yunnan cured pork leg, someday I hope to experience this in the traditional way out in the mountains. But today, in the city, I'm excited. This clay pot, this miniature, the single person hot pot, smells amazing, looks amazing. And guess what? I even have a local beer to go with it. Today is a rest day. This is gonna be a great lunch. This is a great day. You know what? I know this beer. This is a Dali beer. Dali is the town south of here, so this is a Yunnan beer. I remember this because on a bike ride one time, I stopped at a place. I was long overdue for a water break. There was no water at the shop. They only had sports drinks, milk, yogurt, and then beer. And I saw that this beer is 2%. Oh, 2.5%. And I said, you know what? I think I can drink this on a bike ride. Good job pouring, Joel. So cheers. La Pai Gu is the meat dish famous throughout Yunnan. So someday I hope to have a chance to experience this like the traditional way. They build a earthen mound around the ribs actually, and I've heard 1 to 2 years curing time inside. So they will suspend the ribs, hang them inside so they're not touching the walls, and then like close up the earth around them and let the ribs cure for 1 to 2 years. So today I'm having it in town, but it still looks so awesome. This place has such a vibe. Cheers. It's as gentle as you would expect. You can tell it's beer. Barely. It has only the slightest bitterness that will tell you it is in fact beer, which is good. I guess this is, 200 years ago, this is how people drank beer. I think it was very low alcohol content and it was clean. So people would drink very light beer instead of water, right? For lunchtime throughout the day. Yeah. There is a big culture here of homemade alcohol. It's going to have fruit, maybe plums, sometimes goji berries. If you remember from 5 years ago, I really learned maybe too much about that. It was really interfering with my bike rides, the amount of welcome drinks. Just very cool. The home alcohols can be anything from 10% like a fruit wine to very strong, like 50%. You don't mess around with those things. Those are not for middle of the day. Oh, thank you. So I've got a dip. Nice. Nice. Okay. 这个是猪肉是吗？辣。哦。
这个就是这个肉炸了再吃啊。
排骨，肉排骨。
你听得懂我们的话吗？
一点点。
一点点。
可以去白饭吗？
可以的，有的，我会给你打米饭。
谢谢。She's turning on the hot pot top to keep this clay pot warm. Thank you. 可以吃 is you can eat. Go ahead and eat. The dip. The clay pot, the hot pot, the pork ribs. This, it's nice and heavy. This is my rice dish right here. So you saw me ask 2 or 3 times for white rice because the normal way is you eat the meat first, and then if people are still hungry, then you bring the white rice. So I want the white rice. We're going to have another huge ride tomorrow, but I think I just want white rice to go with this. But yeah, the traditional way, tea with meat and chili oil. How awesome of a reception is that? Wow, very strong tea. I think the tea is stronger than the beer. Thank you. Now that's a serving. Oh, yes. So again, I paid for one, which was not a cheap price, 70 renminbi, so $10. But look how much. So it's like 2 or 3 servings of rice, and then, quite an awesome amount right here. The tomato, the tofu in there, you see that? And then just the thin broth, and then some pork. You can see a few intestines, and then the ribs. And she put a little bit, she put like a half spoon of the broth. She made chili dip for me. I know there's Sichuan peppercorn in there, Sichuan peppercorn oil, chilies, dried chilies, chili oil, green onions, cilantro on top. And as soon as she put it here, within like 60 seconds, she said, eat, you can eat, meaning she directed me to eat. Oh man, we are good to go. It's a great lunch. I'm very grateful to be here. Everything is new. It's very fun. Even though I've been to LiJiang a few times, everything is still new. I haven't been here for a while. Okay. Let me get this straight. This is tea, dip. Let's try some of the broth. I'm just doing this so I can cool it down. Oh, it's cabbage. It's not tofu. So I expect people would just eat directly out of here. The Chinese flaming hot food skills, I bet some friends would just eat right out of there. But, look at all the skin on that one. Which bite should we do first? The fat, the skin, or the ribs, the meat? Yes, I do have a dip, but I want to try the meat first. Dude, just the heart-happy saltiness. Heart-happy saltiness. That is what came to my mind. Just umami, meat, and salt. to your heart's happiness. Yes. Yeah, that is the agedness right there. Dude, the depths of that saltiness is, oh, it's wonderful. You know what, that goes well with beer. Some beer, for sure. So if I wasn't cycling 6 or 7 hours a day, I don't know if this much salt would be recommended, but oh man, it is, I think it's what the doctor ordered. Okay, next up, let's try the skin. Mostly fat. It is the pork belly. Let me bite half and then we'll dip half. The skin is a bit bouncy, not super, but the meat, there is a piece of meat that came with it. It really is that jerky consistency. It is cold up here. Maybe that's just the thickness of a normal pork skin up here. My jaw is actually getting tired. The jerky texture is real. You really do have to work it. Oh my. What a beautiful meal. I appreciated the first bite for what it was, but every single bite after that is going to be dipped into this. She is a dip-making master. Wow. And for all of you at home who do not know Sichuan peppercorns, you need to get acquainted ASAP. Babe, I think this is one of the best bites of food that I've ever had in my life. Best single bites. This is unreal. I can't wait until you come here. We gotta have this immediately. Dude, the amount of saliva. The way that the mouth just wants the next bite. That is unbelievable, dude. Okay, I can remember one other time in my life. In Malaysia, with Mark, we had this curry. And Mark says, I don't even care what happens next. I would just give my entire wallet to the chef to just keep this flavor going. Wow, that's spicy. Cabbage into the dip. And then another rib. I just realized I made sure to get her to bring me some rice, but I don't even care about the rice at all. I almost just took a drink of the dip. I knew we could trust that older couple over there. Wise decision. So I'm halfway through. I said the battery is almost dead, but look at this. I gotta share what I just noticed. You see the reflection in the table? The ribs are just hanging over my head. This is so good. Okay, I think the world could have basically ended in the past 20 minutes and I would not have cared. Oh, but after 20 minutes, it is getting a little bit rich. It is getting a bit salty. Wow, masterful recipe, genius, absolutely incredible. You could not have this every day. This is a special meal for sure. Wow, I want a friend. I want Lee to share this with me. We've had dishes similar to this. I've never had this exact dish though. Man, Yunnan. La Pai Gu. Do not forget it. Okay, so actually I was talking too much on the walk over here. The battery is about to run out. If I have any more revelations to share. I need a few more minutes battery. So I did pull the plug on this. It was just bubbling away. It was blazing hot already. So I did pull the plug after all. So I've got my rice. I've got my dip. This lunch is perfect. I love my chair too. I'm sitting where I can see the street. And it's just such a nice day outside. So there's cabbage and potatoes also in here. It's just those three things. And then the soup broth is awesomely salty, awesomely simple. It doesn't like overpower the flavor of the other ingredients at all. And while that rib meat would be still exceptional on its own, this dip is out of this world. So while you definitely know that my hobbies include travel, cycling, and food, do you know my fourth hobby? Definitely language. I love language. You might even say I love language just as much as the other ones that I named, those first three, because language is the biggest link to people. So just the way that food makes your travel memories all the better, language also makes the travel memories much more rich. In that way, I could argue way more rich, because with the food, you can only link to a local culture up to a point. You just have your own experiences. You don't have actually shared experiences. I mean, in the restaurant, okay, whatever life you can experience while you are within a restaurant, sure. But with language, you can go outside the restaurant. You can talk about family history. You can learn about much more than just the food. So I cannot speak Chinese very well, as I already told you, but I can tell this family is from southern China, because the next door province is Guangxi. That's where Li is from. So I know at least some of the accents are the same. So it's cool. So I can understand a little bit. But if I were to become fluent in central dialect, Mandarin, Putonghua, the Mandarin that they speak in the center of China, it is different than over here, which is the same as my life in Thailand. The first place I lived, they spoke a very different dialect. So I was actually learning like 1.5 languages. At the beginning, I didn't really know it. So it's not an excuse. I still want to speak Mandarin much better than I do. But if you live out near the edges of the country, you're going to have to learn Mandarin plus for sure. To the last bite, the flavor is still exquisitely salty, meaty, heart happy. La Pai Gu, amazing dish. I've done this a few times. The rice is free and unlimited, but it was so much that I only ate half of what they gave me, so I asked to have this in a bag to take home, and I have this with milk and raisins for tomorrow's breakfast. What a meal. All right, let's go pay. Hao吃. 可以大包吗？大袋子吗？大包可以吗？可以，谢谢。明天早上我喜欢吃米饭。这个是鸡蛋。
蒸鸡蛋。
蒸鸡蛋。好了，谢谢。今天多少钱？
你们讲中文讲得好。
一点。我在泰国，但是我的老婆是柳州人。
谢谢惠顾，欢迎下次光临。
这个米饭够不够再来一点？
谢谢。
你要不是牛腩大包糊给他哦，我。
OK， 下次见。
好的，拜拜。
哦，认识你很高兴。
拜拜。可以怎么样？拜拜。He's gone. These guys are going the wrong way, and it made me think. I was about to say I don't know where I am, what country I'm in, and then they're driving the wrong way 2 guys in a row, so it really tripped me out. Oh, you gotta love meals like that. A midday solo feast. I don't usually target the solo feast, but today it was awesome. And because I am here by myself, it happens to be solo feast more often than not. Wow. Middle of the day also, remember there's like a siesta. So kids come home from school and then they go back to school and then they stay late. So the school day it has more classes by a little bit, but the school day is much longer for students than in the Western curriculum. But in the middle of the day, when I am usually either finishing a bike ride and finding a restaurant, or like today, I worked in the morning and then walked out to find a restaurant. Life is very quiet, even in a huge city from noon until like 2 or 3 p.m. Very quiet. Okay, so right now, people, I guess, are going back to work or going back to school. So there's a line of more than one car at each street light. So I'm walking back to the Gongcheng, the old city, the old town where I'm staying. Still a beautiful day. Thanks for hanging out with me and having some ribs. Superb lunch. Don't forget, if you are in Yunnan, you know one dish now to check out. Those ribs. Wow. Okay. See ya.